श्लोक महला पहला। गौ ब्राह्मण को कर लावो, गोबर तरन न जाए। धोती टिक्का तैं जपमाली, धान मलेच्छा खाए। अंतर पूजा पड़े कतेबा, संजम तुरका पाए। छोड़ी ले पे खंडा, नाम लिए जाए तरंदा। So, in this body, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is talking about the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy which we all have till today, that in front of the people, when we have to work, we do different things. When it comes to the religious rituals and all that stuff, we do it differently. In those days, for long time, because cow is a sacred animal for Hindus, in those days, because it was a Mughal empire, they used to tax anybody who has to transport cows from one place to another place, or if they have to, because they have to cross the river by doing that through the boats and all. So they used to tax them. And there used to be a process for people who were devout Hindus. They thought that the cow dung was sacred. So they used to put the cow dung all over in their house so that to make their house also sacred. But the same people, they were employed to collect the tax when the cows were transported through the river from one place to another place. ਸੋ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਖੰਡ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬਈ ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਸੂਲਦੇ ਪਏ ਹੋ, ਟੈਕਸ ਲੈਣ ਡਏ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ, ਤੇ ਦੂਜੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗਊ ਹੈ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੋਬਰ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੁੱਖ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏਗਾ. ਸੋ ਦੇ ਯੂਜ਼ਡ ਟੂ ਬਲੀਵ that the cow dung will bring peace in their house. And on the other hand, they were also collecting tax for transporting the cows or the Brahmins, because Brahmins, the ritual used to be that Brahmin will come to the house, they will use the cow dung, they will put all over, they will do some prayers to make sure that there is a peace in the house. So here Guru Nanak Dev Ji is telling us, Gau Brahman ko kar lavo, gobar taran na jai. Maharaj says, you think that without the cow dung, you will not be able to you will not be able to liberate from this world. But on the other hand, when you are doing your job, you are employed by the Mughals, and you are collecting tax on the same cows and same Brahmins. And you also wear dhoti. There was a traditional dress which was worn by devout Hindus. Dhoti, tikka, tej, pamali, taan, malecha khai. You call Muslims, they used to call Muslims as Malech. Malech is somebody which do bad stuff, or which is tamoguni person. So under the breath, they used to abuse Muslims, but they couldn't speak it openly because they were ruling India at that point of time. So they used to call them Malech. Maharaj is saying, under your breath, you call themselves Malech, and then you wear the dhoti. Dhoti is a loin cloth, which white color loin cloth, which they used to wrap around them, and they used to put a tikka. It is a kind of a mark on the forehead, uh, which traditional or devout Hindus used to wear. And in the hand, they will have a japmali, as in there will be a mala, there will be beads, which they used to show people that they are chanting the Naam in the hand. That was a kind of a picture. Let me see if I can find that, and I will show it to you also. So Maharaj is saying, you call them Malech, but then you serve them, and you do their jobs, they as in the Mughals, and you abuse them under the breath, but then you wear these religious robes and show yourself that you are the most religious person in this world, and then you call the others as the Malach, that oh, you should not eat a food from Malach, but you are getting money from them, and with the same money you are buying the food. So Maharaj says, Antar puja pade kateba sanjam turka pai. When you go to their places to work, then you sit with them, use the rituals which Mughals are doing the rituals. You do the same thing. And inside you saying when you are at home with your family and friend, you are doing the Hindu rituals. And out there you are reading the Quran and all. And then then you abuse them again, saying that Maharaj says, Chodi le pakhanda, renounce your hypocrisy. So now let's see how hypocrite we are, right? We are also hypocrites, right? So how the hypocrisy is that we, whosoever the person is, we kind of, behave in a different way. Maharaj is telling whatever you are inside, you should be outside. You should not behave in hypocrisy. If something you think is not correct, if worshipping the idols is not correct, if worshipping the animals is not correct and all that stuff, you should not be involved in that practice. Yes, if others are involved in those kind of practices, if somebody is doing a halal meat, selling the halal meat or eating the meat and all that stuff, let them do it. But you don't, just because you want to make them happy, you will sit with them and you start eating with them, or you start cooking for them the halal meat. Oh, I don't eat it, but I can still cook it, right? So Maharaj is saying that don't do these kind of hypocrisies in your life. Whatever will happen is only it's gonna be the naam, and that's what Maharaj is saying. Naam liye jaye taranda. These hypocrisies or these rituals, physical rituals which we do, it is not going to make us liberated. Only naam, when we will chant the name naam liye. So this is, see, so much direct stuff. Some people believe that oh, they should not chant and all that stuff. Maharaj is saying very straightforward here, that if you want to swim across this Pavsagar, this ocean of fire, you have to chant the Naam. Without the Naam, you will not be able to go across. And with the hypocrisy in your head so that you can make other people happy, that will also not work. Mahalla pehla, manas khane kare nivaj, ਛੁਰੀ ਵਗਾਇਨ ਤਿਨ ਗਲ ਤਾਗ, ਤਿਨ ਕਰ ਬ੍ਰਾਹਮਣ ਪੂਰੈ ਨਾਦ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੀ ਆਵੈ ਓਏ ਸਾਧ, ਕੂੜੀ ਰਾਸ ਕੂੜਾ ਵਾਪਾਰ, ਕੂੜ ਬੋਲ ਕਰੇ ਆਹਾਰ, ਸਰਮ ਧਰਮ ਕਾ ਡੇਰਾ ਦੂਰ, ਨਾਨਕ ਕੂੜ ਰਹਿਆ ਭਰਪੂਰ, ਮੱਥੇ ਟਿੱਕਾ ਤੇੜ ਤੋਤੀ ਕਖਾਈ, ਹੱਥ ਛੁਰੀ ਜਗਤ ਕਸਾਈ, ਨੀਲ ਵਸਤਰ ਨੀਲ ਵਸਤਰ ਪਹਿਰ ਹੋਵੇ ਪਰਵਾਨ, ਮਲੇਛ ਧਾਨ ਲੈ ਪੂਜੈ ਪਰਵਾਨ, ਅਭਾਖਿਆ ਕਾ ਕੁੱਠਾ ਬੱਕਰਾ ਖਾਣਾ, ਚੌਂਕੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾ ਜਾਣਾ, ਦੇਖੈ ਚੌਂਕਾ ਕੱਢੀ ਕਾਰ, ਉੱਪਰ ਆਏ ਬੈਠੇ ਕੁੜਿਆਰ, ਮਤ ਪਿੱਟੇ ਵੇ ਮਤ ਪਿੱਟੈ, ਇਹ ਅੰਨ ਅਸਾਡਾ ਫਿੱਟੈ, ਤਨ ਫਿੱਟੈ ਫੇਰ ਕਰੇਨ, ਮਨ ਝੂਠੈ ਚੂਲੀ ਪਰੇਨ, ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੱਚ ਧਿਆਈਐ, ਸੁਚ ਹੋਵੈ ਤਾਂ ਸੱਚ ਪਾਈਐ. Whole body you will hear about the hypocrisy. Manas khane kare nivaj. Now Maharaj are talking about the Muslim. That what are you doing? You are taking bribes, right? So you are taking bribes. They are now Maharaj is talking about the Qazis. Who are the Qazis? Qazis are the priests of Muslims, just like Brahmins for the priests of Hindus, right? Pandits, we also say Pandits. Similarly, Qazis or the Mullahs were the priest class of Muslims. Maharaj says, in those days, what there is a story actually associated with all these things. If you want to, you people, if they want to get their work done, the mullahs and qazis were the most influential person in the Mughal times. So you have to pay the bribe to them. You have to get your work done. You go give them some money, and then they will help you get your work done. That's what Maharaj is talking about here. Manas khane kare nivaj. You say that you do the prayers, Muslim prayers. There are, I think, 4 or 5 prayers which Muslims do at the Amrit Vela in the afternoon and the evening, right? So Maharaj is saying that you do 5 prayers, you do your nawaj all the day, but when the time comes to do help someone or do some work, and you take bribes from people. And the other, now Maharaj is also talking about, we talked about, I don't know if you guys, if all of you guys were here last time, we talked about the Tagga, the sacred thread, right? So Maharaj is talking about here that remember, if you remember, there are 2 classes. One is Brahmins, and then there is a Khatris. There are 4 castes in Hindu system: Brahmins, Khatris, your Vash, and then your Shudras. There are 4 different castes. Brahmins are the priest class, or the people who used to read Vedas and all that stuff. Then you have Khatris, who were the ruler class or the warriors. And then there were Vash, who were the business people. And then the number 4 were the Shudras, who were the labor class. The whole society was divided into 4 people. So that's why you need to understand everything. You need to understand what was going on then. It still exists. That 4 caste system still exists. So Maharaj is saying, Churi Vagayan Tingal Tag. So Mughals used to employ Khatris, because Khatris originally they used to be warriors. But when the Mughal emperor came, so the Khatris were employed as the people who were kind of the governors, or tax collectors. They were devout Hindus, right? And they basically used to manage kind of everything about, because there was a language difference. So wherever Mughals were ruling, Mughals language was like Arabic and Persian, whereas the language spoken out there in northern part of India was different. It was like Punjabi, Hindi. Hindi was not kind of a language. You can call it a Sanskrit at that point of time. There was other languages like Lande and all that stuff. There were different dialects and different languages, and Khatris knew those languages. Whereas the Mughals, they came from Turkey, and they didn't knew the language. So to manage the people, to manage the society, they used to employ the Khatris and all, so that they can manage everything out there. So Maharaj is saying, Churi Vagayan Tingal Tag, that you use these Khatris who are wearing the sacred thread, Janehu. Remember last time we discussed about it, that they wear a Janehu. So Maharaj is saying they're wearing the Janehu, but then what they are doing, they are basically uh, creating a problem for the poor people, right? They are doing the julam, right? They are not behaving well with them. They are beating the poor people to get them work from the Shudras. So they used to have for any work to be done, any labor work, let's say making roads or doing anything, they used to have a stick in their hand, and they used to literally beat them all the day, and so that they can work, and they used to give them very less money for that, right? So here Maharaj is talking about the 2 different classes here, Manas Khane, Kare Nivaj, that you are taking bribes. Maharaj is talking to the Mughals, that to the mullahs, that you are taking bribes and then you read the prayers also and saying that you are very sacred. And same about the Khatris out there, Hindu Khatris, then that they are wearing the sacred thread and showing that they are very religious, but there is an hypocrisy. If they are so religious, then why they are beating people up and doing so torturous kind of a work out there. Tinkar Brahman Pure Naad. And then in the homes, they will, these Khatris, they will invite Brahmins, the priest class, to do all the prayers and to do the prayers and sing the prayers to show others that they are kind of very religious. Ona bhi ave oe sad. So here there is a reference out here that now the Brahmins are, now see the cycle which Maharaj is talking about. Khatris are working there for Mughals, and they are doing all the bad stuff which they should not be, the cruel stuff. They are doing all the cruelty towards the poor people, and that's how they are earning the money. Now they are calling Brahmins to do the rituals, their religious rituals, religious prayers, and the Brahmins are taking money from the Khatris. So Maharaj is saying, Una bhi ave ohi swad. That it's the same money which was earned with the cruelty. Now it is passing along to Brahmins. It's the same cycle which is going on. First, the cruelty was done by the Qazis or Mullahs, and they took the bribes from the Khatris to do their work. And then same money it passed on to the Khatris, because they were employed there and they were getting the salary by doing cruelty towards the poor people. And then the same money now is passing along to the Brahmins, the Hindu Brahmins, who are again, what are they doing there? They are doing the puja, the rituals out there, and the same hypocrisy is continuing. Kudi ras kuda vapar. Maharaj is saying, oh, everything around the world, it is a cycle of kud. It's fake, it is a lie, and it is all the falsehood which is going on in this world. Kood bol kare ahar. And now the Brahmins are also, they are talking, they are giving them the stories of different gods. Okay, the Vishnu did this, the Shiva did this, all that stuff. They are making stories up that Shiva can destroy the whole world in 1 second, Vishnu can do this. All those stories, I think they are speaking kood, and kood bol kare ahar. They are, what are they doing? They are earning the money by speaking the falsehood. Saram taram ka dera dur. They are, Maharaj is saying that modesty and the tarma, the honesty and the modesty has gone out of this world. People have no shame left. They can do anything to earn the money. ਪੈਸੇ ਕਮਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ, ਕੂੜ ਬੋਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ, ਸ਼ਰਮ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹੀ ਕੋਈ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਕੋਈ ਧਰਮ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ. Like they are doing all these rituals, they are showing people that they are very religious, but when it comes to the practicality, they are doing everything kood. Nanak kood rahya parpoor. In this world, it's all the falsehood. Now again, Maharaj is talking about the physical thing. ਮੱਥੇ ਟਿੱਕਾ ਤੇੜ ਧੋਤੀ ਕਖਾਈ, ਹੱਥ ਛੁਰੀ jagat kasai. Maharaj is saying again, they are on their foreheads, they are putting all these religious marks on their forehead. They are wearing saffron clothes or the white clothes, right? Stayed dhoti kakhai, saffron clothes they are wearing around their waists, as in the loins, right? So hath churi jagat kasai. Now again, they are also taking bribes from the people. They are just like butchers. Just like butchers are killing the animals, that's what they are doing by taking the bribes. Apakhya ka malech tan le puje puran. Sorry. Hath churi jagat kasai, neel vastar pair hove parwan. Now, here there Maharaj is talking about the blue clothes worn by Muslims. Maharaj is saying they are wearing the blue clothes out there and saying that, hey, we are very religious. We are going to Makkah, we are going to Medina by wearing these clothes, or showing people that they are very religious. Malej Tan Le Puja Puran. And then they are accepting, then the Hindus out there, they are accepting the money from all the Mughals, and then they are calling them Malay, right? They're saying, oh, they are bad people because they eat meat and all that stuff. And then you are doing your reading your religious books. Apa kya ka kutha bakra khana. And you know what, this is one of the reality which I have seen from my own eyes in my life. Kutta is literally means the way Muslims used to it's basically an animal. Basically, they used to butcher the animal and they used to eat it, or they still do it, right? So and but then they read the prayers. Maharaj is saying what happened was that outside you are saying, oh, they eat meat and all that stuff, but then you yourself go with them and eat their meat and all that stuff. I have seen this in my own life, right? Uh, in Amritsar and all, I have seen this, that on the street, the street food which is being sold out there, where there is all sorts of different animals. We're not going to go there, chicken meat or whatever it is. But I have seen some people, very religious people from the Sikh faith, who used to do kirtan in Darbar Sahib and all. And in the night, I have seen them out there eating meat and drinking sharab also. That you preach something else to people, that hey, you should not eat meat, you should not drink sharab. But a lot of people, when they say okay, nobody's gonna see them, they are actually eating that. So that's what Maharaj is saying, that you are preaching something else. Then you're saying okay, they are Malaysian people, but then you are having parties with them, you are eating the food. Chaunke upar kise na jana. And when it comes to your kitchen, you say that, oh, the Shudras cannot come into my kitchen because the low caste people or untouchables, who are also called Dalits, if they will come to my kitchen will become impure. So it's all hypocrisy Maharaj is talking about here. Dekha chonka kaddi kar. And then there was a rituals again out there. So when they used to make the kitchens, they used to draw the lines outside the kitchen. See, in the old days, there used to be open kitchens, not the kitchens which we have in today in the modern kitchens. They were open kitchens in the villages. The houses were made out of the mud. So they used to cross, okay, that this particular territory, and they used to draw the borders, that this is our kitchen, this area we will only cook the food. And they used to do some religious rituals out there. And the low caste people who used to come there for cleaning and all, they couldn't enter their kitchen. They said because if they will enter their kitchen will become they will pollute their kitchen, right, just by entering their kitchen. Today also, I don't know if I have mentioned it to you guys, like we used to do a project in Madhya Pradesh, in a village out there, and there were like very poor low caste Hindus, Dalits out there. And the Thakurs, the higher caste people, they never even let them drink the water from the taps, and they used to beat them up. When we went there, we came to know the story that there was no water in the house for this low caste family. And the ladies, she had a small kids, and it was a very hot summer day, and she wanted to get a water. And it was in the middle of the night. She thought nobody will see her, and she can basically get a water from very closely from the tap out there, and give the water to her kids. But what happened was, when she went there, because otherwise they had to go like miles away, like couple of miles away, to the river to get the water. And I'm talking about this time, present time, the real story. And so she went to the tap with it was actually a hand pump. So she went to the hand pump, uh, and started getting the water from there, and somebody saw her, and they beat her too much. It was almost like beating her to the death, just because she touched the hand pump. That is the kind of hypocrisy. It still exists. Think about Guru Nanak Dev Ji came to this earth in 1469, and he was talking then that this is the hypocrisy we all have. And it is there in the Gurbani, and today also it is applicable to some parts of India. And the first project which all these gurmukhs they did was they basically installed a lot of hand pumps to in that village, so that the ladies don't have to go out to the river couple of miles away to get all the water for cooking, for bathing, and all that stuff, for washing clothes and all. So it kind of hurts that because you are tagged that you belong to a certain caste, you are losing all the privileges. And people who do all this cruelty that we are high caste and all that stuff, and they call themselves very religious, but underneath they are doing all sorts of cruel stuff with the people, right? ऊपर आए बैठे कर यार देखे चौका कड्डी का. That's what Maharaj is talking about, that you are making a boundary in this kitchen that nobody can enter this. ऊपर आए बैठे कर कुड़ियार. But then but when you sit in there, because your mind is filled with cruelty and filled with the sins, because you are doing the cruelty towards other, how come your kitchen is still pure? It is not pure anyway, right? Mat pitte ve mat pitte. They cry, right? They say don't, they yell at all these people, don't touch our hand pump, don't touch our food, because if you will touch the lower caste people, they tell you, if you will touch our food, or even to that level that they say that even if the shadow of these people will come on this food, the food will become impure. Forget about even touching. Even the shadow can also make the food impure. And when they say a an asada fitte, then this food will be polluted. We will not be able to eat it, even if the shadow of them will come. The shadow is also so bad. Tan fitte fade karain. And then what happens? Maharaj is saying, what about your evil deeds? You are doing all sorts of evil deeds in your life, and doesn't it make your food polluted when you touch them, because your mind is full of filth? What about your mind? You are talking about other person's physical body, that just because touching their food from their physical body, it can make your food impure. How about your mind? You have an evil mind. Man jhutha chuli brain. Maharaj is saying your mind is filthy. Your mind is jhutha. So jhutha, there is actually, to be honest, there is no English for that, but I will try to explain it. In India, or in Indian culture, when you touch some food, or when there are leftovers of their food, it is called jhutha. Maharaj is saying your mind is jhutha, because your mind is always thinking about the evil things. And man jhuthe chuli parain. So Maharaj is saying you're cleaning your mouth uh, by gargling and all that stuff. You are washing your face, but what about your mind? How are you going to clean your mind? Because if you have an evil mind, if you have a filthy mind, if your mind is full of thoughts of tamogun and sattogun, kam, krodh, lo, mohankar, lust, greed, anger, attachment, and cruelty and all, and hate. This is a perfect example of hate, that you hate people, you hate Muslims, you hate lower caste people. What is going to happen with your mind? Maharaj says there is only way you can clean your mind and drop that hateness. How? Kaho Nanak sach te aiye, such hove ta sach paiye. Then only you can be pure. Otherwise, you can do any rituals, physical rituals, you will be always impure. Maharaj, that's why there is another verses, antar mail lagi na jane, baharo mal mal tove. That outside we are trying to make ourselves pure, we do religious rituals, we go to Ganga is a sacred river in Haridwar, right? You go there and take a dip, holy dip, and say, by just taking a dip, I will be cleansed. My sins will go away. But how come? If that is the case, then the frogs and fishes would have been, most the pure people, because they live in the water. All the sea animals or anybody who, any living being which is under the sea, under the water, they must be very pure. Maharaj is saying the purity will only come, kaho Nanak, sach tyaiye. If you will put your dhyan, your focus on such. What is such? What is truth? It's Vaheguru. If you will put your dhyan on Vaheguru, such hove, ta sach paiye. Then you will be actually pure. When you will see Vaheguruji in everybody, when you will see Vaheguruji in Shudar, in Khatri, in Muslim, in Christian, in everybody. See, this is the problem with the humankind. Whosoever the person is, whatever caste, whatever religion they belong to, they think that our thing is the best, and rest everything is impure. Whatever Vaheguruji has created, everything is perfect, everything is pure. All the creation of Vaheguruji is pure. We cannot differentiate people because of the color of the skin, by the religion, or by the nationality or anything. That is why it is very important to connect with the one, connect with the Naam, connect with Vaheguru, because unless we connect with the Naam, unless we connect with the Vaheguru, then we will not be able to become suche or pure. Then the only way to become suche, or the only way to become pure, is by connecting with the Naam. ਪੌੜੀ ਚਿੱਤੈ ਅੰਦਰ ਸਭ ਕੋ ਵੇਖ ਨਦਰੀ ਹੇਠ ਚਲਾਏ ਦਾ ਆਪੇ ਦੇ ਵਡਿਆਈਆਂ ਆਪੇ ਹੀ ਕਰਮ ਕਰਾਏਂਦਾ ਵੱਡੋ ਵੱਡਾ ਵੱਡ ਮੇਦਨੀ ਸਿਰੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੰਦੈ ਲਾਏਦਾ ਨਦਰ ਉਪੱਠੀ ਜੇ ਕਰੇ ਸੁਲਤਾਨਾ ਕਾਹੋਂ ਕਰਾਏਂਦਾ ਦਰ ਮੰਗਨ ਪਿਖ ਨਾ ਪਾਏਂਦਾ ਦਰ ਮੰਗਨ ਪਿਖ ਨਾ ਪਾਏਂਦਾ. See here, that's what Maharaj is now giving us a solution and telling us about the nature of Vaheguru. Maharaj is saying, for Vaheguru, for one Vaheguru, for the Jyot Prakash, Nirankar, formless, timeless Vaheguru, for him, everybody is same. It does not matter what your physical appearance is, what religious rituals you do, what kind of clothes you wear, what kind of trade you in, what kind of occupation you in, does not matter. For Vaheguruji, all are same. And he is Nadri hates Laida. He is watching us. How? By sitting in us, not from the sky. He's not watching us from the sky. He's sitting within us and seeing us. What are we doing with our home, with our ego? Are we increasing the filth of our mind? Because the separation between us and Vaheguruji is the filth of our mind, the filth which we have created through the thoughts, through our ego, through our actions, through the karams. Are we increasing that filth, or are we reducing that filth? ਆਪੇ ਦੇ ਵਡਿਆਈਆਂ ਆਪੇ ਹੀ ਕਰਮ ਕਰਾਏਂਦਾ. Vaheguru Ji see you, and what happens when we are doing bad actions and all? Vaheguru Ji will still bless us. Vaheguru Ji will want us that we should come out of this hell. This is a hell. When we do bad actions, when we think bad, when we behave bad, Maharaj is saying, Ape de vadiyaiyan, ape hi karam karainda. Then he will feel pity on us and say, he will make us realize. Remember, we were talking about the story, I think last to last lecture of Asa-Ki-Vaar, that somebody actually told me this, that they were behaving in a very bad way. They were behaving bad with their parents. They were doing drugs and all that stuff. and which was illegal. And then cops basically caught them. They said when the cops caught them, they knew that that's kind of end of their career, life, everything, because they were caught red-handed and they can get a DUI or whatnot, right? They were driving also, so they can get driving under the influence and all that stuff, right? And you have to go in the jail for a long time. And he said that suddenly the prayer came, Vaheguru, please save me this time. I will not do this again. And just with that prayer, they got saved. आपे दे वड्याइयां, आपे ही करम कराएंदा. That's why never judge Vaheguru. Sometimes what happens is when we see bad in the world happening, the question comes, why this kid was born disabled? Why that person, such a nice person, why he or she has so many problems in their life? Don't challenge Vaheguru. Vaheguru ji will help each and everybody. Just remember, Jyot of Vaheguru ji is in everybody. He's the he's the one who is running all this show. He knows what is good and what is bad. Whatever bad is happening in this world, it is because of our own actions. Remember, we talked about that free will is there. We can do anything, whatever we want to. That free will exists. But the results of our actions also depend on our free will. If we will do something bad, if we will sow the seed of wrongdoings, the evil deeds, we cannot expect fruit to come out of it. If we will sow poison, poison will come out of it. Amrit will not come out of it. ਵੱਡੋ ਵੱਡਾ ਵੱਡ ਮੇਦਨੀ ਸਿਰੇ ਸਿਰ ਧੰਤੇ ਲਾਏ ਦਾ. Vaheguru ji is running all this show, and he is the greatest of the all. He is the Vadda. Remember that. Vadda kar salaiye. If we will remember Vadda, Vadda as in great, all the time, we will become Vadde. What does that mean? That means we will become like him. Nirpo jape sagal po mite. When we chant, Nirpo is without fear. When we will chant, or when we will remember the fearless, when we will do the Simran of fearless, we will become fearless. That is the beauty. Jaisa seve taisa hoye. Whatever we will, our mind will do, right? If our mind is going to think about the bad things all the time, if we are going to make our mind busy in watching movies, ugly movies, or doing all sorts of bad things and thinking, making the plans, our that's what we are collecting. But if we are involved in remembering Vaheguruji all the time, our mind will definitely go in peace. You can try this. I got a text this morning from some young person, and in the sangat, and he keeps on texting me all the time, and with all the questions. And he said now from last couple of weeks, he has increased his Simran to 3 hours. And he said he can literally see the change in his life. If our mind is spending at least 2 to 3 hours of Simran in a day, our mind will go in peace. Our mind will start doing everything in the right way. Because what is 3 hours? Why I'm talking about 3 hours? 3 hours is almost 1/10 of your day. That is the minimum we should all spend. If we want our mind to be in peace, if we want our life to be straightened up, we should all try. It doesn't have to be straight 3 hours. You can have 1.5 hour in the morning, 1.5 hour in the evening, or something like that. But that those 3 hours should be the quality time. It's not like that we are doing something else, we are doing something else, and this is and the rest of the time, if we are busy in understanding the Gurbani on how our lifestyle should be, and walking on the path of honesty and no cheating, no stealing, no lying, which anyway we should do it, right? Even if we don't do the bhakti, life will change. Then we will become Vadda Medni Sire Sir Tanta Laeda. He has given the jobs to everybody. His jobs is to take care of everybody. And there's so many living beings. Medni Maharaj is talking about 8.4 million different species. Maharaj is talking about here, right? And there's so many planets and so many earths are there in this universe, which scientists have even not yet invented. And he's taking care of everything. Nadar upatti je kare, sultana kahon karayeda. Remember one thing: with Vaiguruji's nadar, by just seeing, he can make beggars to the kings and kings to the beggars. He has all the power. That's why we should live in fear also. Why we should live in the fear? If you love someone, then you respect that person also, and then you don't want to break the heart of somebody. Now, I'm not saying we can break the heart of Vaheguru, but what I'm saying is we should live in fear. Vaheguru that's why we wear a kada, right? The bracelet we wear on the right hand side. Why it was given to us by Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, that when we are using this hand, mostly we put it in the right hand, or the hand which is your primary hand. We wear that to remember that it reminds us that Vaiguruji is watching us from inside all the time. So even if we are doing something bad, somebody is looking at us, even if we are doing something behind the curtains. It's not like that nobody's looking at us. And that's what Maharaj is saying, Malecha ka kutha bakra khana. Right? You call Muslims Malech, and then you eat the same food with them. And then you don't allow people to enter your kitchen, right? You say, oh, my kitchen is pure, nobody should enter it, the lower caste people, but then you are eating the meat with the people in their kitchen. So with that mind, you will not impure your kitchen, right? So that's the reason to walk on the path of spirituality. The hypocrisy should not be there. Whatever we are in front of the family, whatever we are in the front of the outside people, we should try that we are same. We all have hypocrisies, but we need to. That's why we have to do ardas benti, a prayer in front of Vaheguru Sache Pasha, that we should dar mangan pekhna paeda, that we should be. Please help us so that we can come out of this impurity. We can come out of this hypocrisy. Maharaj is saying, Dar Mangan Pekhna Paeda. Even when we Vaiguruji will listen to everybody. Maharaj says, Asan loe loe pandar, jo kich paya so ekavar, kar kar vekhe sajjanhar. Vaiguruji is the one who can give us food for this physical body, food for this mind also. The clothes for this physical body, the clothes for this the clothes for our mind also. What is the clothes of the mind? Karmi apo apni ke nede ke dur karams. The karams are our kapada, right? All these karams which are our good karams, as in the good clothes for the mind, why Guruji can give us. But even if we go the door to door in our neighborhood, people might not give us anything. Dar mangan pe khana paida. But Vaiguruji, by just looking at us, nadar patti je kare, है ना? Even he will just look at us, all problems will be solved, all the food will be given to us, all the shelter will be given to us. That's why only and only depend on Vaheguru, not on any human being. So this is the end of 16th body. So the message from this body is remove the hypocrisy in our life. Oh, gee. Any questions if you guys have? Okay, somebody actually asked a question, I think. Okay, no. Any questions, Vaiguru? Okay, if there are no questions, आओ जी सिमरन करिए फिर. We have to do Saas Kira Simran when we say Vah. We listen when we say Guru. We listen. ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੇਖੀ ਜਾਣਾ, ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਣਾ. Then we will do ਅੰਤਰਗਤ ਸਿਮਰਨ. ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਅੰਤਰਗਤ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਨਾਲ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਹੈ. First we will do Saas Kira Simran, and then slowly we will go inside. ਅੰਤਰਗਤ ਤੀਰਥ ਮਲ ਨਾਓ. ਆਓ ਜੀ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕਰੀਏ ਜੀ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ